So this one has huge implications, not just for China, but for every market watching on how to handle AI driven layoffs. A court in Hangzhou ruled that firing an employee because AI can do the job more efficiently is not a legal basis for termination. In plain language, the company made the choice to adopt AI, the worker didn't, so the company must absorb the costs.
It wasn't just one case and the judge favoring to this labor, yeah,
Mhm.
instead of the companies that using AI. So Beijing court ruled the same way in a separate dispute. This is becoming precedent. We're looking at two US companies that going layoff rampage for financing AI infrastructure.
So the judge literally said AI is not reaching a point where it can substantially replace human workers, which is fascinating because it forces companies to think about retraining budgets, not severance. The word they use was objective circumstances. You can restructure if the business fundamentally change, but choosing to install an AI tool doesn't count.
This is an alert for COM and also the HR department all around the world because we already have the case where the court winning the human labor. Yeah.
So this is precedents making in China. But will the rest of the world pick up on it? I think some will and some won't, because some will just focus on shareholder value, businesses must build, too big to fail, all that kind of stuff. But if the tech bros have it their way by replacing everybody with AI, who's going to be around to buy the products, buy the services? That's just it's an insane economic imbalance that cannot be fixed. So something like this is actually good. These are part of the guardrails that is ideal for business to follow because you can't let businesses police themselves. You see what happens. They police themselves, everything goes amok. Like seat belts, airbags, all that stuff came from regulation.
So I must say that India and also Philippines as the capital of the outsourcing labors in the world,
Mhm.
they might wanna use this to counter for this AI replacement. Because you know that AI, what's the first victims of the AI replacement usually, which is the front ends like the telemarketings or who wants or the people who do the reserves for the table and the restaurants. They outsource it to the India and also the Philippines because they are chips. And now they are replacing to AI.
Mhm.
If these things can be applied across the countries, well, maybe India and Philippines might be relieved.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how it goes because it's very important for social cohesion in China and the rest of the world to make sure that you have people who are doing work and can afford their day-to-day activities. So having replacing everybody with AI is not a good idea, in my humble opinion. Not like AI is a great tool and things like that, but come on, the macroeconomics of it you have to consider first.
But I still think that keep the best employees, give them the AI, and you will do just fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's get to the news by two. Beijing launches AI ethics pilot, including roles in emotional dependence. China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology just launched a pilot program for AI ethics review, and the scope is broader than you expected.
What caught my eye was the specific mention of emotional dependence on the AI products. They're not just worried about algorithmic bias, they're worried about people forming unhealthy attachments to AI companions and tools, which we've seen in other parts of the world as well.
Yeah, we don't want to be the person that every time we move or we do some action, we need to check it out with AI, right?
Yeah. The pilot program also discovered algorithmic discrimination. So if your AI model is systematically disadvantaging certain users in lending, hiring, health, that now gets an ethics review. So this is China building its own version of what the EU is doing with the AI Act, but faster and more operationally focused. And the fact that they see this as an important aspect for developing AI inside China itself is mind blowing.
From my experience, AI is easy things. So we ask, they give the answers, but not always their advice comes to the right things. So I have these experiments like do this A, B, C, which one is the best? Sometimes they put or sometimes they choose the easiest things that they can provide for me who's asking.
Mhm.
But it's not always the best. Sometimes I blindly take their advice and do that, and not the result is not as I'm expected.
AI right now is not perfect, and I don't think it's going to be perfect anytime soon. It's a great tool, but it's not perfect.
At this time, if we're too dependent to the AI, it's like scapegoating the AI. You make the wrong choice.
Yeah, the AI can't be responsible. So
I better blame you, man.
yeah, good luck on that one.